Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mixtape podcast. This is where we take a deep dive into the inspirations and influences of my guest as I ask them to select 6 tracks for their imaginary mixtape. Track 1 is an attention grabber. Track 2 is a song they sing in the car or the shower. Track 3 is a cover version. For track 4, I'll ask them to pick a song they wish they could have played to their 18-year-old selves. Track 5 is a song they would use to woo someone. Track 6 is a track that my guest feels doesn't get the attention or recognition that it deserves. If you'd like to support the creation of this podcast, it's patreon.com/mixtape podcast, or you can check out the link in the description below. You can join for free or subscribe for as little as $2 a month. There's lots of other Patreon-only content on there, including the opportunity to ask guests a question and to have a personalised mixtape playlist curated by yours truly. There's lots of other ways you can support me, a like or a follow on social media. Again, there's links in the description for that. Or if you are listening on Spotify, you can smash the follow icon or you can rate the podcast. All of these little things go a long way towards growing the platform, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to this mixtape for KCR 102.5 FM and the mixtapepodcast.com. Joining me today, Sorcha Richardson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, that was perfect. You're like a
Brilliant.
native Irish speaker.
All right. So you're coming to Australia. March the 11th, you'll be landing in Perth, and then the 14th, Melbourne, the 16th in Sydney. We'll get to the Sydney show a little bit later on because that's quite a big one. Have you been to Australia before, Perth, or is this your first time?
No, I've never been to Australia. So I'm pretty excited about going. I've loads of family over there, lots of family in Sydney. My sister was living in Perth last year, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Her boyfriend is from Perth, so
yeah.
I feel like I was kind of like keeping tabs on her Perth life for like a year, and now she's back over this side of the world, and I'm gonna head over there. So we're swapping places for a little while.
Right. Okay. And you got a few days in between your shows there? Are you gonna take the time to see a few sites and catch up with people, get around a bit, or?
I mean, we have a couple of days. Like, obviously, I have to go straight from the Sydney show. We're doing, those 2 Mishnock shows. We're doing the one in Sydney, and then the next one's in Boston 2 days later. So we kind of have maybe like 3 days in Perth, 3 days in Melbourne, 3 days in Sydney. Which I'd like a lot more than that, but it's better than what you usually get on tour. So.
I recently had a band on called Big Special, an English band, and they were in Australia they did 3 shows and they were here for 3 days and then they went.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. I think
where were they coming from?
From England, from Birmingham. I think they stopped in India, I think, for a festival or something on the way here. And then it was straight back from Sydney.
Oh my God.
I know. Yeah. Coming this way, the jet lag's worse. Like, I don't want to put you off, but coming from this way, going back, it's not so bad. But coming this way, it wrecks you. Yeah, you can get a direct flight now. Are you doing a direct flight or are you stopping over?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't even know where we're. I mean, all week has been like a matrix of flights, and because then once we get to America, then we're doing a little North American tour as well. And I'm sort of trusting that I'll get there, and I'm just gonna deal with the jet lag later. I think we have a couple of days in Perth. Before we have to play any music.
Right, okay.
So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing at all. So my partner, as I mentioned, she's from your neck of the woods, and she's actually there at the moment. And I just got this random screenshot of a gig ticket sent the other night, and it was your show at 459. So okay, cool, let's go. That'd be great. And then I thought, well, why don't I try and get you on the podcast and the radio show as well? That'd be even better. So really looking forward to the show. 459 is a great venue. That's where I put on. So the show that I talked about at the beginning there, Black Swan, White Noise. I do a regular club night there for the show, which I've just started doing, and that's where I put. That's where I put the first one on. So that's how I know Siobhan and the whole Rosemount.
Amazing.
It's a great venue. 459 and Rosemount is a great venue. They've got like the 459 is like a side room. and then the main room holds about 500, I think. And then there's a big like sort of outdoor seating area and in undercover sort of pub, but it's sort of outside, but not. Yeah, it's a great venue. I've seen some fantastic bands there over the last few years. Yeah, so it's a really good one, good choice. Let's talk about. So you've got the vinyl reissue as well, the anniversary
Yes,
reissue. Let's talk about that. Is it in Press Recordings who are doing that for you?
it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. Do you know them well, or is that just
I have a feeling my manager has a friend
okay?
who's
Right.
there.
Yeah.
That's how that came about. But yeah, I mean that it's a reissue of my debut album, which came out a little over 5 years ago now.
Hmm.
It's just yeah, it's just nice to be able to do a reissue and to be able for people in Australia to buy it without having to pay, you know, a lot
Tell
of
me about
shipping.
it.
Like yeah,
Tell me
I get
about it. Yeah,
I do
yeah.
we do get orders from people in Australia, you know,
Mm,
for vinyl and for merch and stuff like that. But I know that yeah, it's a long way to go and it's a lot of money for the shipping. So it's nice that you'd be able to get it more locally and
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it's pressed on this kind of like very pretty pink vinyl as well, which
Mhm.
I'm quite excited about seeing. And then there's a newer song of mine called Map of Manhattan, which is
Mhm.
a bonus track on it as well, and that's
Oh, cool.
never
Yeah,
been on any vinyl because it's not part of either of the albums. So
yeah,
nice
yeah.
to have that as well.
I had do you know Fink? Do you know, are you familiar with him? This a singer-songwriter he's from London, I
Oh
think, but
yeah,
he's based in Berlin
yeah,
now. He's mates with Luke, I think, who owns Impress Recordings.
okay,
So he did the same thing when he came to tour
mm,
at the back end of last year. He had like 200 tour edition pressings of his 10th anniversary album, and it was so good. Like, and he was signing them at shows as well. Like you would never get that, like even through his website. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't get that.
totally, yeah.
And like,
People
sorry, go on.
here who are asking me, how did they get one? You know, so I was like, well, we'll see if there's any left. Yeah,
Yeah, I have the same conversation with a lot of people, but being a vinyl fan in Australia, especially this time of year, it's like it's a lottery whether it arrives.
yeah.
Like because of the heat and that, it only has to sit in a hot van for a couple
Oh
of
God,
hours,
yeah,
and it's like a to the point where there's a couple of record shops in Perth that have got proper machines like flattening machines, and
oh really?
if it's not too bad, you can
Mm.
pay $10 and they'll put it on there, and it's a controlled temperature and a controlled weight, and it flattens it out. Otherwise, I've got two sheets of glass and put it in a paper sleeve and leave it out in the sun. That
Yeah,
works just as well sometimes as well. But yeah, the shipping, like you say, like literally only this morning, I went to buy a T-shirt from an artist that I know in London. And the T-shirt was $40, and then it was $35 shipping, and I was just like, I can't justify
yeah.
that. I can't
It's an
justify
expensive,
$75
yeah,
for a
piece of
T-shirt. Like,
merch.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I
it's bad.
know.
So I try and get out as much as I can to gigs I grab the merch at the gigs
Yeah,
because that's like it's no postage, and yeah, especially with T-shirts, you can feel the quality and the brand of the T-shirts
yeah.
and all that. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Sydney show then. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of the festival. Yeah. Go for it, mate. What's it called?
So it's called Mishnock Festival.
Mishnok. Okay.
Mishnock is the Irish word for courage.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Right.
yeah. And so Mishnock it's the first year that it's happening. It's sort of dreamed up by Dermot Kennedy, um, who's a very successful Irish singer-songwriter.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so Dermot, I think he's doing these two shows in Boston and in Sydney, either side of St. Patrick's Day. And he's kind of curated the lineup for both shows, and it's at the Domain in Sydney, which I hear is pretty big.
Mm.
Is it that
Big venue. Yeah.
a pretty big outdoor
Mm.
outdoor venue in the center of Sydney? Yeah, so there's just loads of amazing Irish artists on it. I think there's a couple of Australian artists on it.
Hmm.
Um, then we go to Boston a few days later and play that as well.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, that's the original reason I was coming over to Australia. But obviously, if
Yeah.
we're coming all that way, I kind of want to I want to play a
Exactly.
few more
Yeah.
shows and
Yeah.
see a few more places.
And
So
it
yeah,
will ease the jet lag as well if you stop in Perth on the way to Sydney.
stop in
Like
Perth. Yeah,
that will help you for if you break it up a little bit and
yeah.
yeah, at least recover a little bit. The frames though, I'm a massive,
Are you?
huge Glenn Hansard fan, massive fan. And yeah, I was so excited to see that. And then as is often the case living in Perth. No frames side shows in Perth at all, which is a bit of a
someone
shame.
said that people often don't. Perth doesn't get as many shows as Sydney and Melbourne. Is that a thing?
That is very true. Yeah, it's because it's a lot of its distance and cost, like logistics
Totally,
and stuff. Especially if it's a big touring show, it can really cost a lot, but it doesn't help, like, the amount of times I've gone off in the Facebook comments when someone's announced a tour.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating. And annoyingly, I think he's been since, but Glenn Hansard came solo. I know the year it was 2015 because my daughter had just been born. She was a newborn. And I got a new job, which meant I was working away from home the night he was in Perth. So I had to sell my tickets, and I was absolutely devastated.
The one
And
time, yeah.
yeah. And I thought, I'll catch him next time. And he ain't been since. Or I've been away when he has been. Oh, it was so frustrating.
That's killer.
I've seen him a couple of times as the Swell season in London. Saw him at the Albert Hall, which was amazing. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of Glenn Hansard and all of his sort of, incarnations, whether it's, Swell season or the Frames or whoever. Are you familiar with Matt Corby, who's on that bill? He's an Australian artist.
I am familiar with Matt Corby. I feel like I used to listen to Matt Corby a lot, like 5 or 6 years ago. Do you know?
Yeah.
He's been around a while, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He was actually, if you look on YouTube, there's a really cool clip of he was 16 years old and he was an Australian Idol contestant.
Oh, really?
And he does a banging version of Superstition by Stevie Wonder. And even then, I think he got to like the last 3 or 4 or something like that. But even then, you're looking at it thinking, you're too good for this, mate. Don't go down this route. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're way better than this. You could tell there was an artist in there, not a performer. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference.
Totally.
Like, there was someone in there of substance, and he's gone on to, he does great things.
He's an amazing singer.
Yeah, no, he reminded me a lot when I heard your mixtape track number 1, Jacob.
Jacob Alon,
that twigged me a little bit to Matt Corby as well. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's get into it then. Let's get into your mixtape track choices.
I was sort of indecisive as I was doing this, so you feel like the stakes are so high, and then I was like,
do you know what I've got? As I mentioned, you to be about episode 94. I'm the guest on episode 99.
Oh wow!
And I had to pick my tracks, and it was so stressful. I couldn't narrow it down to one. I gave, because it's my show, I was like, I'll give myself 2, so I gave myself 2 choices.
I know. I was going to send you multiple, and I was like, no, that's not part of the rules. Just
it has
decisive.
Happened. Sometimes people, if I've got time on the show or they're really cool tracks, like, I'll play both choices. But generally, I'll try and get people to stick to one. But
that's fair.
The reason the show is called the Mixtape is because I got given a mixtape when I was like sort of 17 years old, and it really sort of sparked my sort of musical journey. And the guy who gave me that mixtape, he's the guest for episode 100. And that was
amazing.
That was a 2-hour 40-minute Zoom chat when we recorded those 2 episodes. It went on for ages. It was just us chatting shit about music, and because obviously with extra choices as well, it took even longer. Okay.
That's great.
So what would be your track 1 attention grabber, mate, for your mixtape?
Track 1 attention grabber is a song called Fairy in a Bottle by a Scottish artist called Jacob Alon.
Mm-hmm.
Initially when I was looking for attention grabbing songs, I was going for like much more up tempo, like bombastic songs. But then honestly, I think this is like one of those songs that I heard this year that just totally stopped me in my tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I initially saw them on they were on Jules Holland, and sometimes it's just like actually the really quiet, still, intimate music is the stuff that actually kind of makes me stop and say, hang on, who is that? I just think this is an amazing song. Maybe it's their first or second single, I'm not sure. Okay. They don't have that much music out at all. And then they played at a festival in the west of Ireland called Other Voices this year, which I was at. Yeah, and the main stage of that festival is like a church that is maybe like 80 people or something.
I thought that was just like a TV show. Is it a whole festival as well?
It's sort of grown. So they have like there's like a music trail where like loads of up and coming Irish bands play in all the kind of pubs around the village and stuff. So yeah, it's like a full. I mean, it's not like a festival, but it's sort of like almost like a showcase festival kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. It's
Oh, it's a great
it's
show.
great
It's a
fun.
great show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them in the church and I was just floored. So
That's a perfect sort of setting for that sort of artist as well, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
I picked K Tempest's version of Rainy Night in Soho from Other Voices as my cover version for my mixtape.
I was in the church for that as well.
No
Yeah.
way!
Oh my God, it was
Oh my God!
unbelievable.
How good are they as well? Oh man.
That was
Um,
one of the
yeah,
best, like most kind of
yeah,
moving things
yeah, yeah,
I've ever
yeah,
seen.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, it was amazing.
yeah.
That's an incredible choice. I'm so annoyed I didn't pick that. Damn it.
My partner sent me the link to it,
Yeah.
and I downloaded the RTE player so I could watch it, and
Did you?
yeah, so I could watch it, and it just absolutely floored
Yeah.
me, because we were broken up at the time, me and my partner,
Yeah.
and she sent me that, and with Grace as well, like backing it up, like that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Like Grace is, the K Tempest track
Yeah.
is phenomenal, and I think they put it was the best cover they could have chosen alongside their best two tracks by a country mile,
Yeah.
like that little 3 song set. It was so good. I was embarrassed enough and I asked Cara, my partner as well, how do you pronounce the name of the fiddle player on that session? And even she couldn't pronounce it.
Colin
Yeah,
McAnumra, I think
yeah, that's it.
is
Yeah,
how you
yeah, that was
say.
him. Yeah, yeah, that's the fella. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'll do now, I'll keep that the way you just said that, and then I will go back into my episode
Yeah.
and
Well,
re-record myself. OD that. Yeah, definitely.
Colin McAnumra plays with the Frames.
Yeah, yeah. He's like
Yeah.
the go-to guy, and he's like yeah.
Yeah.
He's everyone's favorite player. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Yeah.
I'm so
Wow. Great
jealous that you were
choice.
actually in the room for that.
I know.
Oh,
I'll
all right.
never forget it. It was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. All right, it's not my mixtape, it's yours. Sorry, track 2 of your mixtape. I'm trying to hijack this, and I'm interviewing myself.
It's okay. I said Just a Western by Nilüfer Yanya
Yeah.
off the new record. Yeah, I moved to West Kerry, where like about 10 minutes away from where Other Voices
hmm
happens, and since then I've spent an enormous amount of time driving between Dublin and Kerry, which is maybe
hmm
like 5 hour drive, I suppose.
hmm
But I always love to play this song in the car when
hmm
sort of when you're coming, maybe the last hour of the drive, when it starts to get really very beautiful and you're along the coast and along the cliffs and stuff. I don't know, there's something about the song that's just it's one that makes you feel like you're in a movie.
mm.
Um I love this album, but that's kind of the one song that, like, I don't know, I keep coming back to it. It sounds so good in the car.
Yeah, yeah. Good driving song.
Yeah, great driving
Yeah, no,
song.
it is. Yeah, it's a good road trip song. I think uh, just going through your tracks, I think
Yeah.
in all the episodes I've had, this is the mixtape that I personally like the most. Like there's not
Oh my
one bad
God.
track. There's not one
That's
track
very
in. Oh no, that's praise, mate. Let
I
me tell you.
like that's
That's
amazing.
there's not one track in here there's always one. Someone always picks one where I go,
Yeah.
but these are all absolute winners, mate. Yeah, with some great choices, some great
That's a
choices.
real ego boost for me. Yeah. So you'd listen to this mixtape. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I will. And for anyone listening, if you're listening on the radio show, then if you go to the mixtapepodcast.com, you'll find a Spotify playlist link. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel or in the podcast, there'll be a link in the description to a Spotify playlist of all your choices. And there will also be, what I also do is I put 6 playlists together, and all the track 1 choices, all the track 2 choices, all the
Oh,
track 3 choices.
nice.
So there's 6 playlists there that are just growing and growing.
Cool.
So yeah, if you go to mixtapepodcast.com for anyone listening and click on Spotify playlists, and you will find all of them there. Okay. Track 3, what is your favourite cover version, mate?
Cover version, I said Justin Vernon's version of Bruised Orange by John Prine.
Yep.
Um which is just, I mean, that's a perfect song anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think when you take on like those kind of all-time great songwriters like John Prine, it's sort of like you're damned if you do or damned if you don't, because you know, it's already perfect, so it's kind of a brave move. But then at the same time, I feel like that song would sound good to anybody that's in it. You can't really mess it up. But I don't know, Justin Vernon, I think he could just literally sing anything.
He does an amazing version of "Can't Make You Love Me," the Bonnie Raitt track at the piano. That's incredible cover version. That's
that is
so
beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great choice. I think I was really late to John Prine. I think probably about 4 years ago. I used to have a side hustle buying and selling vinyl records, and I used to just go to like people's houses and buy like, you know, deceased estates and stuff like that. And I came across this album once. I can't remember the name of the album now. It's the one where he's sitting on like a bale of hay wearing jeans and a check shirt. I can't remember the name of the album now, but he's just sitting there. He might even have a bit of straw in his mouth. He's that country. And I thought, I'll give that a listen because I'd not heard him before, and it just blew me away. Like you say, the quality of songwriting, so good. Yeah, fantastic choice. And talking about cover versions as well, let's talk about Jenny Was a Friend of Mine and Mr. Brightside. Because when we obviously, I have a lot of discussions on this show about cover versions and what makes a good one, and the general consensus is putting your own stamp on making it something different from the original is what makes a decent cover version. And you've definitely done that with those two tracks. What made you pick them tracks, and how was it sort of recording them covers?
Yeah, well, so there is a record label in Seattle who kind of basically ask different artists to record full album covers, essentially. There's a band from New Zealand called Yumi Zuma. Do you know those guys?
No.
I think this was like a couple of years ago. I was doing a writing session or something with them over Zoom back in the time when like that was our lives. And I think they had done one for the label. They had done maybe an Oasis cover album. And I think they said to the label that maybe I would be a good person to do one. So basically they asked me to cover any album from like the early 2000s. And I had a few different ideas, but I kind of wanted to do an album that was not too long, like 10 or 11 tracks, a lot easier than like 16 or 17. I wanted to do one that I knew really well because I don't know, I just didn't want to spend loads of time like learning lyrics and learning, you know, like Hot Fuss by the Killers was an album that I rinsed like whenever that came out. But I also wanted to do one that didn't sound too much like my own music. Like there were other albums that I had looked at and I was like, I'm just going to want to do it how they did it. So with that album, I took Somebody Told Me and I took Mr. Brightside, and I was like, if I can figure out how to do a version of these, then I'll do the album. And if I can't, then I won't, because Mr. Brightside has to be like one of the most sung to death songs on the planet. Like it just makes me think of bad karaoke or something. So I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But I actually loved the process of making that. I made it about 2 weeks after I had finished recording my second album. And like I'd spent, you know, a couple of months on that, and it was like very careful, and you know, it was nice to work on something immediately after, spend like maybe 10 days on it, and to be a lot less precious about those decisions and a bit more impulsive. And I produced a lot more of it, and it was really fun.
I only saw the 2 tracks on your Spotify, so you've done the whole album. That's amazing.
Did the whole album, but the whole album only exists on vinyl.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't know, it felt kind of weird to do for it only to be able to buy it on vinyl. And so there's a couple of songs on Spotify and stuff, and then but the whole thing. But to be honest with you, I think there's a few, you know, that's the thing about doing an album is like you come to certain songs that, like some songs I was like, I have a very clear idea of how to do this, and then there was a couple that I was like, I'm not sure. So I was okay with not all of them being on Spotify.
No, that's cool. When I was chatting to Fink, he'd just done a similar thing. He did There's a label in Germany called Low Swing Records, and they do everything analog to tape, everything, and then the tapes
Yeah.
get mastered at Abbey Road and cut at Air Studios and all this like, and they won't, because it's all analog and it's for the audiophile market. They don't
Mm.
allow stuff to go on the streaming platforms, but if they let him put 2 tracks on there, he did Modern Love by Bowie and
Oh
Black Hole
wow.
Sun by Soundgarden, and they were both amazing cover versions. And the rest of them are just on vinyl, which I've obviously got a copy
Yeah.
of because I'm a massive fan. But yeah, it was a similar sort of thing. It was a vinyl only release. Talking about whole album covers, have you ever heard the Ryan Adams 1989 album, the Taylor Swift album?
I
That's
think I
so good, man.
did.
That's
Yeah.
so good. That's one of the greatest like cover projects ever. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the
There's some
thing
brilliant
about
versions on that.
pop songs
Yeah.
are like sometimes they're especially like Taylor Swift pop songs. I know she's like sort of moved more into doing it, working with like the Destiners and or Aaron Dessner and
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
her music has she's made more like sort of folk leaning music.
Yeah.
But like 1989 is an amazing
I
album,
know
and
it
so I
is.
think
Yeah, yeah,
like it's cool to hear it. Yeah, to hear it
mm,
like just the songs like
yeah,
straightforward like
yeah,
that. You're like, yeah,
yeah.
this is actually you know if
Mm.
anyone sometimes I think certain people need to hear. Yeah,
I
yeah,
always think that when you strip it back like that, it just shines a light on the quality of the songwriting when it's
totally,
when it's without all the bells and whistles of pop, if you know what I mean.
exactly, yeah.
It just shines a light on what good songwriting it is. I think
Mm.
pop gets a bit of a bad rap as a genre in general. I think it's just, I don't know, people just see it as because it's pop and commercial and a bit
Yeah, and
throwaway.
they dismiss it a little
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit unfair sometimes. All right, and track 4 is what's a
track
song
fourth.
you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self?
I chose Manhattan Youth by Ben Stiller.
Hmm.
Um, this is because I moved to New York when I was 18.
Hmm.
And I think, first of all, I just think that if I had heard this song when I was 18 and like wandered around the East Village, and I would have listened to it non-stop, first of all. Also, the thing I like about Ben Stiller is they're sort of, I don't know, they give me kind of maybe hope about a New York music scene that I kind of struggled to find while I was there. And yeah, they're a New York band. They're a really good band, New York band. Yeah, I think this would have just been like a in heavy rotation of my soundtrack if I was.
What sort of stuff were you listening to when you were that age, right?
What was I listening to? I was listening to a lot of stuff like Laura Marling
Hmm.
and Daughter and um I think around that time I started interning at Domino Records
Hmm.
in Brooklyn. And so like what else would they I was like listen to like everything that they were putting out. Villagers albums as well.
I don't think,
Um
yeah, yeah. Mm.
lots of that kind of stuff. But I was also I don't know, I think I also started listening to like more of that kind of like sort of kind of lo-fi like bedroom pop stuff like Shura and
Mm.
what else was coming out around that time? I was sort of like when I was 18 was when I started singing. I mean before that I
Mm.
never sang.
Yeah.
I played the drums and I was always a drummer in bands and stuff. It was when I moved to New York is when I started to like I was like okay maybe I'll be a singer-songwriter because I can't
Mm.
find people to be in a band with. So um so then I think that's when I started I was trying to find like singers who I could I was never like a big singer or like I did at
Mm.
that time I would not have even said I was a good singer. So I was trying to I think listen to music that I felt like I could make just me by myself on my acoustic guitar.
Mm.
Um so that it was a lot of that kind of stuff.
Sure, sure. All right. Now, track 5 was an interesting one for me because I was sitting there going, I know that name. I know that name. Where do I know that name from? And then I was looking and
Maybe I titled it incorrectly, did I?
no, 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 because I remember you spelt it right and everything else, but
Yeah.
it's actually Blood Orange is
Blood Orange, yeah.
the song's been released under. But even I was sort of, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? And then when I looked into it, I was like, Lightspeed Champion, just massive, like
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
mid to late 2000s was like the next big thing. He was just going to take over the world for
Yeah.
about a year. Yeah, and I was like, that's where that
Yeah.
name comes from. But yeah, so sorry, track 5. Let's
Track
intro the
5.
track. Track 5, a song you would use to woo someone, let someone know that you're romantically interested.
I said Champagne Coast by Blood Orange.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever used a mixtape or compilation in that way, or has it ever worked on you, something like that?
That song, you mean, or mixtape
Just
in
a
particular?
mixtape, a mixtape like that, compilation in general, or a playlist. It's a bit of a generational thing. I think it's more my age sort of people who are into it. It's a lost art now.
I have one of my really, really good friends growing up was a guy called Ralph, and what he used to do for all of us when we were in school is whenever anybody passed their driving test, he would give you a mixtape.
Oh, what a legend! Yeah,
excellent. So you could listen in your car.
Yeah.
And actually, Ralph has a great taste in music. He's still a really good friend of mine, but he's a big Lightspeed Champion fan. I think I first heard Lightspeed Champion when Ralph put that on my my car mixtape.
Right.
But other than that, like a friend of mine gave me a mixtape for my birthday once. Unless I was misreading the signals, I think he was always in a
I've done that
purely
enough times.
platonic. Yeah. This song though is one of my girlfriend's favorite songs, and I think she may have shown it to me. But I don't know. I just think it's a great kind of timeless, flirtatious song.
Yeah. Talking about misreading the signals, and I'm definitely going to cut this out. Do you know the song "Hold Me" by Damien Dempsey? Do you know that one? It's off of the Shots album.
Yes. Yeah. Damien Dempsey is amazing.
Sing All Our Cares Away.
Oh my God.
That's one of my favorite songs of all time. That's so good.
It's like the national anthem.
I know, yeah. It's just like it's good on like to two levels for me. One, I think it's a brilliant example of economical songwriting. Like there's 4 lines about each person, and you know that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can see that person. You know them, and also just a brilliant sort of how it encompasses what music is for me anyway. Like how it can sing all our cares away. Like that's what music can do. Do you know what I mean? If you use it that way. Yeah, I love Damien Dempsey. Brilliant. He was good on Other Voices as well. I've seen him on there not long ago.
He was brilliant. Anyway,
all right. Sorry, I'm holding you up now. I said like 20 minutes on the thing, didn't I? And we've been like 45 already. We haven't even got to the end.
So good.
That's all right. Last track, mate. And what's a track that you feel doesn't get the recognition or attention it deserves?
This is a song called "Nothing Changes" by a Los Angeles singer-songwriter called Olivia Kaplan. It's off her latest album. Yeah, I just think she is an amazing songwriter. This album in particular, though, is the one that I was like, it kind of everything just came together. I don't know, the production is beautiful, but I mean, I know Olivia a little bit. Like she does, like she self-releases, and I'm actually trying to help her book some shows this side of the world at the minute and stuff like that. I think she is an amazing songwriter, but this song in particular, I just think is very special.
That's often the most difficult category for people to pick because there's so much stuff out there that's like sort of so good and doesn't get the recognition. I think it's so hard, especially in this day and age. And that's my favourite track list. My favourite Spotify playlist is the track 6 one because it's all this like out there like mad stuff that no one's really heard of. And I specifically put that category in just so I could be introduced to new music, like and
totally,
like that's the reason why I do this. But there's 3 or 4 on that, especially track 1, on that playlist that you've just picked there that I absolutely love. So yeah, I can't wait to delve deeper into their back catalogues. It's going to be amazing. Sorcha, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see you at 459 Bar, Rosemountain Hotel. I'm pretty sure, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know because I know the 459. It will be oztix.com.au for tickets for that one. If you just go there, you will find tickets for that. March the 11th. Safe travels down under, mate, and I'll see you when you get here.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. All the links that you will need are in the description below. Link to my Patreon, my guest website and social media, my social media, and the link to the Mixtape tracks playlist as chosen by today's guest. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.